Welcome to Two Bound Books. My name is Amber.
And my name is Shaylee. Thank you for joining us today. We are a podcast dedicated to bringing authors and readers together with the stories that bind us.
Ooh, you know what would be super fun?
What?
Talking about our favorite book, Superpower.
Ooh, like a fantasy or fairy tale inspired?
Yeah, your like favorite magical ability or like the one that you would want to go for?
Okay. Mine's a little weird.
What's yours?
Mine is I like the idea of having that one person you can speak down a bond to and only they can hear.
Ooh.
What you're talking, and you can have your own private conversation through your minds.
Would it be me?
No.
Hurt.
No, because I get plenty of words out of you on a regular basis. So I would find someone who doesn't like to conversate as
How
much.
rude. How rude.
No, you get what I mean, though.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally do.
You would not choose me. You'd choose Taylor.
I 100% would choose my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I also would be highly entertained if it was one of my kids, just so I could hear their thoughts.
Oh, heck no. No.
Hear that, kids? Auntie Shaylee says no.
Nope. They can keep their crazy minion thoughts to themselves.
So, funnily enough, mine would be winnowing. Okay. I would want to be able to think of the place that I want to travel and then travel to said place.
That would take a lot of travel time out of your day.
Just a little bit. And so my commute's 30 minutes each way and I have 2 kids. So if I could just grab their hands and not worry about car seats.
That's true.
Just imagine that.
That'd be nice, but you'd miss all your audiobook time.
I would, but I would have more time for like reading physical books. Mm. Think of the upside.
That's true.
That's an hour of my day.
What if you think like in a princess mindset? Like if we went into a fairy tale land? Because both of ours were more fantasy oriented.
Oh, 100% they were fantasy oriented. Oh, okay.
I want to be like Ariel. I want to get fins in the water and lakes on land.
Okay, well, the other day I walked down to go and get my mail. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it was late at night and I was wearing my sweatshirt. My husband, love him to pieces, got me this like way oversized like blanket sweatshirt. So it's like Sherpa on the inside.
Nice.
Super cozy. Okay. Didn't have my flashlight on me. But I had my keys, which wouldn't have helped me in this situation because, you know, we have a locking mailbox and it's like down the hill that I have to walk. And so I'm walking down there and I see 2 girls who are also walking up. And I got charged by a deer that ran across the road. So my superpower that I would want princess-wise would be to be able to, talk with animals and maybe like talk them off the ledge of not wanting to kill me.
Or being like Eddie Murphy.
Or charge
Talking
me.
Talking to animals. Okay, Dr. Doolittle.
I do not want to Dr. Doolittle this. You just turned my princess like...
Sorry.
Dream. Like, I'm talking enchanted here.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I think old school, I think like Snow White talking to the animals.
Oh, 100%. I was initially thinking Snow White because my brain went to the but also I think that was Enchanted.
It was. And what about Aurora? Doesn't Aurora sing to the animals too?
Oh,
and
goodness.
Cinderella.
They all do. Oh my gosh. Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph where it's the princess questioning? And if we can, we should link a clip. But it's where all the Disney princesses, she ends up in the room with them. And it's like, do you talk to animals? And like, that's one of the questions that they ask. Does a prince come to save you?
Oh, that's funny. I haven't seen that.
Oh
I'll
my gosh.
to check it out.
It's so funny. It makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah. See, so here's the thing. Because I don't have kids, I'm stuck in like the classic Disney princess time.
Okay.
I haven't watched as much of the new Disney movies. Ooh. I don't have kids at home. I don't like live with the family. I live by myself. So I don't watch
That's why you want the bond.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want the bond.
And let's be real. You really do want me to have the bond just so that we can talk about books as we're reading them at the same exact time.
We already do that, texting.
Yeah, but it would be so much faster if it was just mental mind tap.
Okay. Well, speaking of magic, today we're going to talk about Illuminating the Magic by Ashley Mendoza.
Yes.
And you were really excited about this one because it's an Ugly Duckling retelling.
And The Ugly Duckling is one of my favorite stories.
Okay, well, this book, do you want to tell them a little bit about it?
Sure. I think we both kind of can. We can kind of bounce it back and forth. So Lyra is going to academy, or she's forced to go to academy.
For her magic.
For her magic, or because of her magic. Or I should say lack thereof in regards to what is considered a credible magic.
By her parents, yeah.
By her parents, the king and the queen of the kingdom of Welton. And one day, the kingdom gets taken over by the necromancer, or by a necromancer, which is like death magic.
Yeah, there's way more to that story, and we don't want to give away spoilers too much. But yeah, it forces her out of the kingdom, and she's basically traveling with two of her best friends and her new bodyguard. She just met this bodyguard.
She met him like in the act of running away. Like he pledged his loyalty to the kingdom of Welton and then was like, yeah, by the way, I'm now stuck with you.
Yeah. And it was quite the adventure. You learn a lot about the core of why she is the way she is, just because so much comes out about her family life. She has a lot of siblings, just like the Ugly Duckling. And the king and queen, who were not the coziest of people.
Well, and when you are the Ugly Duckling in a story, your home life isn't the best either.
Right.
And so hence there's a lot of trauma with that she has to work through, and a lot of confronting thoughts.
Yeah. I really like how this story ends up. It definitely ends in a way that there could be a second book coming.
It definitely does. However, this is a standalone book.
No way.
Yes way. And it drives me bonkers that this is considered a standalone, because she sets it up perfectly for a second book.
Well, maybe down the road she'll turn it into a series.
I mean, she definitely could. So, Ashley, I would like a second book, please. Thank you. Just for Amber.
Just for Amber.
Just for Amber.
And all the other people.
All the other people. We would all like to know what happens.
Okay, so some of the main characters, we had Lyra, and then, so she's the Ugly Duckling character.
Yes.
And then we have her best friends. One of them
One of them is there, and then they're
gone.
They're gone for the rest of the story.
But Damius is a huge part of the story, Prince Damius.
Yep. Prince Damius, and then Fen the bodyguard.
Yeah.
And Fen honestly cracks me up.
He's pretty sassy.
Of the characters, he's the sassiest, and he definitely doesn't let Lyra get away with anything.
She's kind of a tantrum thrower.
She definitely 100%.
She storms out often.
She does. And I was like, there's a lot of similarities with her, and like, if you're watching, like, sorry, all of my millennial people, if you're watching like Full House.
Oh yeah.
DJ. With all of her.
Oh, she is DJ.
She like totally just walks out and is like, I'm done. I can't do this.
That's funny. I mean,
that's how I kind of like pictured
Full House
her.
Came back around though, because they made Fuller House. So.
Oh yeah. So all of my like Gen Zers that watch, you are included in this.
Yeah.
My Zillennials.
Zillennials. So this really, I felt like was aimed, it was definitely a teen book.
Yes.
I think for me, it felt aimed more toward younger teens.
Yes. I felt it more towards younger teens. It could go towards the older teens. If you are able to read a book like Twilight, age-wise, I would say that you are able to read this book.
That's not relevant anymore.
I know. I'm just saying, like...
What's a book now that would be really familiar?
not the Mortal Instruments. Book now would be like Ranger's Apprentice, but even then that's not of now. Oh, I don't even know. I can't think of a book for right now.
Okay, but they get the idea. It's somewhere that Hunger Games, like those types of age ranges, people that are drawn to those books or when they were first drawn to those books.
I haven't been a teacher in a long while here, so
yeah,
I'm like, I used to be all up in the know about books, and now I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
I stopped teaching when I taught preschool. So at that point I was like, I don't need chapter books.
Tapped out. This was definitely a younger teen book. It's classified as a romantasy. It's definitely got the fairy tale aspect to it.
Friends to lovers.
Yep. And it was
no spice, slow burn.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I felt like it felt young for me, but putting myself in the mindset of who it was aimed at, I think it was a great book.
Yes. If you are looking at the ideal audience, this is a perfectly written book for that ideal audience.
Especially, I think young teen girls would like it a lot.
Absolutely. Oh, so. I was so like Sarah Dessen was one of my like key authors. I loved her books. Mm-hmm. If you are a teen and are looking for an awesome like romance author that is like right on par with like how you're feeling emotion wise and everything you're going through, Sarah Dessen, 100%. It does talk about MP3 players. And so if you get a little confused on what that is, ask your dinosaurs what that is, and they can help you. And I would like to not refer to myself as a dinosaur.
That's only like 10 years ago.
I know, but still, like, if you ask a Gen Zer what's an MP3, they're like, I don't know.
That's true. Because, in fact, I've asked some of the girls that attend our church, and they don't know what some of it is.
Well, and one of my key phrases that I'll always say is like, 1 second, I'm going through my Rolodex, and they don't know what that is either. And I'm like, oh, I'm like that kind of old.
We've hit that.
We hit that.
You are actually going to be turning 30 right around the time this podcast comes out.
Yeah, I believe it.
So happy birthday.
Thank you. It was 4 days ago.
Once this comes
out.
So yeah, that's exciting. Happy birthday, Amber.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So moving back into the book though, I kind of want to you like to talk about the world building and the magic system and stuff like that. So what stood out to you for that?
World building was super easy. I love that I just thought of a book that it kind of resembles.
Okay.
Sorry. Like literally just popped into me, and it's a book that I've mentioned before. And that would be
is it Goose Girl?
No, it's Powerless.
Okay.
Written by Laura Roberts.
Yeah.
Or Lauren Roberts. And so that's how I would kind of resemble it relate it to in regards to also the magic system and how that kind of works. Because you're in a world that is run by the same rules that Earth is.
Right.
So like there's not world building on that aspect, which is really nice when you're getting a new world.
Yeah.
Trees don't walk, so that's cool.
I did. So they end up in actually multiple different places throughout this book because they're traveling from one place to another while trying to stay hidden.
Yep.
And I feel like sometimes in fantasy books, especially, that the location and all the names and stuff get super confusing. But I feel like Ashley did a great job of taking us along and explaining in clear detail what they were seeing around them, what things looked like. You could feel yourself in the setting. The
only thing that would make it feel a little bit more immersive on that aspect is a map.
Yes.
I would have loved a map.
And a name pronunciation.
and a name guide. And so I did message her on Facebook and I was like, hey, how do you say these names? Because I have heard this name Lyra and Lyra. And she goes, it's Lyra.
Okay.
And then she was like, I have a book of baby names. And she goes, it was the cutest thing. She's like, I love to have unique names. And so she'll take like common spellings and then she'll like make fun. So like Fen is Phen.
My mom did that with our names when we were kids. My mom likes the the fun spellings too.
Yeah.
So
I'm very much like Amber. Like, that's me, but my middle name is only 2 letters, and that confuses a lot of people.
yeah. Yeah, I only know because I see it on Facebook regularly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would add, so your middle name's Sue.
Yep.
I would add an E normally,
Yeah.
but it does not exist.
It does not exist. And your name has no Y, but everyone wants to stick a Y in it.
Yeah.
In multiple spots.
I actually, because it's SHAI and usually CHAI is Chai, people want to call me Shyly.
Ooh, interesting.
But it's Shaylee.
Yeah. Back to the world building aspect, though. It did feel very relatable in regards to like our overall world. Magic and the way that it is, I suppose, like born into you comes at a younger age. And so you're able to kind of grow and develop those powers as you age as well. So that was neat to be able to see. There's a heartbreaking moment in the very beginning of the book where Lyra is talking about the type of magic that she has and just the joy that is on her mother's face when she sees what kind of magic it is. Because she has illusion magic, so she's able to create things that aren't necessarily present. But then when her mom touches it, it just disappears and it breaks that illusion. And then her mom gets super mad. And like you can see the trauma that comes from that.
Yeah.
Just on the relational aspect of it.
There's a lot of elemental magic in this. So
There is.
like water wielders and fire, air. Yeah. And so we even see at one point in the book that there's a natural disaster coming and people are able to use their powers to help manipulate the storm.
Yeah.
That comes. But
my favorite is when it smells super, super bad and the air movers are able to like, waft it out. I'm like, get me one of them.
yeah, exactly. So it was kind of an interesting approach to magic because you and I've read a lot of fantasy books or romantasy books, and that is not a type of magic that I've read yet in the books that I read.
It not for me either.
Yeah, so it was unique and new, which was really fun.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that she's considered an ugly duckling for it, even though it's such a unique power. And when you travel and get further into the book, and so you're in a new destination, you realize how rare it is.
Right. So speaking of Lyra, let's talk about her a little bit. Kind of her strengths, flaws, character growth. I will say she had a great character arc.
She did.
She was kind of this bratty girl at the beginning that, and you even see her struggle with it throughout. But I also feel like she was phenomenal at learning.
Yes.
As she went. So although we talked about she's kind of like DJ with her tantrums and stuff like that, she would grow from them and they became less. And eventually she's like, okay, I need to control this emotion and handle this the right way. And you see her kind of blossom into a young woman.
Absolutely. And you even see her kind of character arc, like, or her mental arc of like, I don't even want to go back to the kingdom of Welton. And then is like, but I need to.
Right.
And like you get that mental arc as well to where she even starts to care about what's going to be happening to her people. And so you get to see that development as well, which was neat to see because initially she was like, I hate them. Like, why would I want that? And then you get to see that develop. So that was really neat to be able to like travel with her through those emotions.
Who was your favorite side character?
Favorite side character, I would say is Fen, just because I just adore him. He's so funny.
Yeah, I liked him. You know, my favorite side character, and I'm kicking myself because I don't remember her name because she's not a super significant character.
Oh, is it Selena?
Yes.
I adored her. I think it's Selena.
Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But she is the lady, she's betrothed to one of the princes that you meet in the story that's not Prince Damius. And her and Lyra develop a friendship, and just that girl friendship that everyone wants, where they lean on each other, they grow, and then they play pranks on the guys that they like. And
oh my gosh,
hilarious.
It was so funny. I loved the prank that they ended up doing
Yes.
for it as well.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the spider?
We don't talk about spiders.
We don't talk about spiders.
Yeah, no, I have severe arachnophobia and I don't do well. And so actually that part of the book gave me the EBGBs, but that's okay. They will learn about it when they get to reading. So what do you feel like with the plot worked well?
I really I liked the pacing. The pacing felt relatively steady all the way through. I liked the traveling with it and be able to grow and develop with Lyra as she's growing and developing. Mm-hmm. I would say that it absolutely drives me bonkers that this is a standalone because the plot left quite a few holes right there at the end.
Yeah, I feel like it's really set up for a second book, and who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe she has something planned for the future and just needed a break, or
And I really want it, like when I'm reading a standalone, I want all those loose ends to be wrapped up in a nice little bow. And
you get to wrap them in a bow in your head for now.
Yeah. Ashley, if you'd like to write a second book for Amber.
Yeah, no, overall vibes though, I feel like it was a good quick read. And like I said, I think for the age group it's aimed for, it's a great book.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that it had great heart behind it and great, just in general, it had the feelings of friendships and loyalty.
Yes.
And
you know what it
and
almost
growth.
You know what it almost kind of felt like? Frozen. Like that sisterly loyalness.
Yeah. Yeah, there's pieces of that I could definitely see.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our Quill rating system. We haven't fully gone through one of these in a while, and so I thought it would be fun to fully run down our Quill system for this book.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of funny when Amber and I rate these books using our Quill system that we've talked about a few times. We're rating them individually and then bringing them together to kind of see what the other has said. Mm-hmm. And then we use the average of the scores that we give for the total. Amber and I rated this book exactly the same. Yep. In every category, without seeing the other person's. And so it was kind of funny to come together and be like, okay, we were on the same page for this book.
Yeah.
Because there's been a few where we haven't.
Yeah. There's a few where we've had to compromise on a few things.
Yeah. So what do you say that we head into plot twists? And since I know you love this part, do you want to tell them what we rated it?
We rated plot twists a 3 out of 5 for their relatively predictable ending.
Yeah. Well, not even the ending.
Plot.
I feel like pieces of it were predictable throughout, but it was still a good storyline.
Oh, absolutely. I knew where the story was headed. Mm-hmm. You read enough. You read enough stories. you figure out the patterns
for sure.
And it's an Ugly Duckling retelling, so you know what's gonna You kind of mentally know and prepare for how that's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure. I never really read The Ugly Duckling as a kid.
Dude, Trumpeter Swan.
I know the outline of the story. I mean, it's been referred to my entire life.
Yeah.
But I never fully read that original story.
I would highly recommend Trumpeter Swan by E.B. White.
Okay. I'll look into it.
Same author as Charlotte's Web.
Oh, really?
And Stuart Little.
Oh, all the throwbacks.
Fun facts.
World building wise, though, we gave it a 4 out of 5 because it was easy to, like we said, easy to understand the world. And she did such a good job describing the different places. But like you said, one thing that would have been nice is to have a map to go along with it so that we could understand how far certain places were from others.
I like to travel.
Yeah.
I was, okay, this is going to date myself, which if I haven't already with the terms Rolodex and MP3, welcome to Amber getting older. When I was 3 or 4, I would draw a map of how to get from my house to Baskin Robbins when that was a place, which if you don't know, that's ice cream. And my mom will gladly tell you all about my maps. And so will my grandma.
You were Dora.
Oh, I was 100% like, let's go find it. And like, I had all of the turns down. Like, I knew how to get there.
Oh, that's funny because I was still using a GPS at 18 driving around the town I grew up in. So.
Okay,
That's
so
the difference.
tip for the wise, don't take Shaylee with you if you're going on an adventure.
No. Okay.
Directionally challenged.
I've told you guys, I'm a photographer, and my friend Hannah she's also a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
She's very good with directions, and she like pins places on maps, and she'll send me pin drops. And I'm like, this is not helping me. But I take her whenever I'm leaving town to go somewhere random. So coming up, we're going to Packwood for an engagement shoot. I messaged Hannah, hey, you want to go to Packwood? She's like, yes, I do. And so we always partner up because me on my own in random places just doesn't end well for anyone, especially if I lose service.
Yeah, that's good to note for the future. I'll just pocket that piece of information in my Rolodex.
Perfect. There you go. Character depth.
Shaylee and I both rated this one a 2 out of 5. The characters were relatively surface level. We wanted, I wouldn't say wanted. We're relatively used to a more of a like developed character arc. I would say for the age range that it's for, it's definitely age appropriate.
Yeah. And I mean, we still got enough about Lyra to know why she was the way she was, but there wasn't much character depth to anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, and I get that like trauma stunts your age. And I definitely kind of like almost felt that a little bit.
Because she's technically early 20s, right?
I think so. And this book only happens over like a few
months,
like a few weeks, months.
Yeah. It's
Like,
a short term.
It's a short term book. So like in regards to, I mean, Lyra's depth happens because she has a whole transformation. And so that I would say is present.
Yeah.
But of all the other characters and the support characters, I wish there was a little bit more.
Yeah, I do agree with the 2 out of 5 there. Emotional impact, we also gave it a 2 out of 5 because, again, it was made for a younger crowd. I think, though, if removing ourselves a little bit and putting ourselves back in our young teen years.
Oh, young teen, I would have ate this book for breakfast.
Yummy. All right, getting those Wheaties in.
Oh, yeah.
I think that emotional impact-wise, I could have bumped it up maybe to a 3. But we gave it a 2 out of 5 just based on our personal thoughts on it. And it kind of goes in between. We've talked about giving halves before, but it's kind of hard to do like half of a quill. So we've just decided to stick with the whole numbers.
We're rounding. We can round up.
To 3 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do 3 out of 5 on this one. And then unput down ability. Again, we both gave it 3 out of 5. We both read it pretty quick.
I read it in 2 sittings.
Yeah, I think it was 3 for me.
And so I finished, I had 1 hour left of the book on my second day.
There you go.
It's literally just because it got too late at night.
Yeah.
I couldn't read it.
It's a fast-paced book, and the story does keep you involved. I will say, like, when I wasn't reading it, I was still kind of thinking about the story and what would happen next. So
yeah,
it was good there. Bonus quills. I did decide to award my bonus quill. Mine can be awarded for loyalty, love, or mystery, and like the themes of those. I decided to award it based on loyalty because I felt like there was some phenomenal loyalty within this book and the friendships.
Oh yeah.
And the just care for one another. And so I did decide to give it to my bonus quill.
The friendship aspect was definitely present in this.
Yeah.
And that was neat to be able to see that it was a romantasy that also focused on the friendly affections of loyalty.
Yeah,
so
I
that was nice.
appreciated it for sure.
It was a good palate cleanser. My bonus quill is given out if it is for solid banter and dialogue within the book. And I am not going to be awarding the bonus quill for this one.
Okay. So our total ends up being 16 out of 25 quills. And we love to lay this out in our description as well when you're listening or watching this back on YouTube, so you guys can check it out in a little bit more depth. But just to give you an idea, it's a 16 out of 25. We definitely enjoyed the book, though.
Yeah, and I definitely would recommend it. And like a 16 out of 25 is still a great read. Absolutely loved it. Again, it's best suited for those teenagers. So if you have a teenager that you're trying to get to read, or if you are a teenager and you're like, man, I like a solid romantasy, or you haven't been introduced yet to the world of romantasy, this would be a great read.
Great starter book for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Well, that is all we have for Illuminating the Magic by Ashley Mendoza. We are so thankful that you sent your book in, Ashley. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And we're excited to share it more with our world as well. We want to give a big thank you and shout out to our producer, Rob, who gives us this beautiful studio space to work in. And he owns Alethea Digital Media and Romar Entertainment. So if you need a website or social media needs, you can head to aletheadigitalmedia.com, which will also be in the description.
Feel free to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the other fun socials. Subscribe to us on YouTube, leave a comment, and make sure if you want to submit your book and be featured on Two Bound Books that you go to twoboundbooks.com and are able to submit your request on there. Thanks, guys.
Bye. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. I love this jam.
Jam to our music all night.